One of the most baffling stories ever to be reported in Cleveland. A 63-year-old mystery with still no clues as to what happened to a girl who disappeared from the city's west side.
Here is Leon Bibb with the story of a child who simply vanished, almost within sight of her own home.
Her mother called her a miracle child. She nicknamed daughter Beverly Rosebud. 10 years later, the daughter vanished. The story of the disappearance of Beverly Potts at age 10 has haunted Cleveland for more than 60 years. In 1951, Beverly vanished almost within sight of her Cleveland West Side home.
When Beverly disappeared, the panic was just unbelievable.
63 years later, one who walks where the child was last seen is James Jesson Bedell, journalism and English professor at Cuyahoga Community College. He has written a book on the girl's disappearance. Beverly Potts lived in this house on Lynette Avenue, just off West 117th Street in Cleveland. In the early evening of August 24th, 1951, she went to Halloran Park, almost within sight of her home. The show wagon, sponsored by Cleveland Recreation and the Cleveland Press, was there. It featured a traveling troupe of Cleveland amateur entertainers who performed on a flatbed truck converted into a stage.
A lot of the acts were high school kids who would try out for a spot on the roster.
Beverly loved music and dancing, inheriting that love from her mother, who had once been a dancer. So that August 1951 early evening, Beverly and her next-door neighbor, girlfriend, Patsy Swing, a year younger than Beverly, went to Halloran Park.
This area around Halloran Park in 1951 was a hard-working blue-collar neighborhood. The people worked so hard that during the evening hours they wanted their entertainment. Now, television was relatively new, and very few people had television. So when the show wagon showed up here at Halloran Park with all of its entertainment, it drew big crowds.
And at about 8:45, Patsy got a little nervous and said, "It's getting late, I think we better go home." Beverly said, "Well, my mother said I could stay for the whole show, you go ahead."
Patsy walked to her Lynette Avenue home. Beverly stayed behind. Show wagon music was in the air, which had cooled, headed for an unusually chilly 47-degree low temperature for late August.
This was the Potts house on Lynette Avenue. Beverly Potts lived in this house along with her mother and father, her mother's cousin, and an older sister. While Beverly was at the show wagon event at nearby Halloran Park, the rest of the family was in this house, watching a baseball game on television.
The show wagon wrapped up. Beverly was not home. A 13-year-old acquaintance said he had seen Beverly leaving the park and headed in the direction of home at 9:30. No one else saw anything. Her family, frantic, called police. Local news in 1951, mostly radio and newspaper, told the public.
The reporters from all three papers and the photographers were all camped out here for about 2 weeks. And so it was a circus.
This story of 1951 has long intrigued English and journalism professor and author James Jesson Bedell. Walking through Halloran Park and the neighborhood, he is riveted by the mystery of what happened.
I can't imagine that anyone saw anything that they did not report to the police. I just can't imagine that happening in a neighborhood like this.
Beverly's disappearance sent reverberations. People avoided Halloran Park. Even citywide, there was deep worry.
Kids were not allowed out of their houses at night.
Lynette Avenue, 63 years later. Today, most know nothing of the pain here. Mention the little girl who did not come home in 1951, and
never heard about it until today.
Happened right across the street from where you live.
And I've been here like maybe 4 years now, and it's the first time I ever heard about it.
Author Bedell walks the area where there are no tracks to follow. But he theorizes that night alone, without her next-door friend, Beverly turned nervous.
She must have met someone that she trusted completely. Now, who that might have been?
She virtually disappeared.
She virtually disappeared.
no body found. No tracks, no suspect ever led anywhere. The mystery of a child's disappearance has gripped Cleveland for more than 6 decades. Beverly Potts, age 10, a Cleveland girl who vanished. Mother Elizabeth Potts died 5 years after her daughter's disappearance. It was said to be because of a broken heart. Father Robert died in the 1970s. At their grave sites is another stone marked in memory of Beverly Rose Potts. A memorial, not a grave marker. There is no body buried there. In 1951, Beverly Potts left Halloran Park and disappeared. Live on 5, I'm Leon Bibb.